Hey you guys, what is up? First off, happy Thursday, and it's a throwback Thursday for sure. Um, this is going back to 1975, only because we had lost another legend, and it's just like all these iconic people are just dropping like flies, and I just don't know what is going on. I don't know what is going on. I really don't. Anyway, it just seemed like what was it, like a week ago now that we lost Hayden Panettiere. I think it's been a week ago. And then just 2 days ago, we lost Dolly Parton. And then yesterday, we lost Tim Curry. Um, there was somebody else, I can't remember his name, but like known for doing voiceover work. But with all that being said, I am going to talk about Tim Curry and his legendary work, which I just watched the Rocky Horror Picture Show for the upteenth time. This is what you want to call a cult classic. There are so many people that like to go, especially when it is playing, they like to get dressed up as certain iconic characters in this movie, dress up like them, and they really get into it. They get so involved into this musical movie, and they start like dancing and singing along to the movie. Um, it's fantastic, especially if you get into to stuff like that. So you know what I'm saying. But with that being said, he's done so much other work, but we're going to talk about this movie in particular today. It is sad that we've lost him again with so many other people. Um, but if you are familiar with this movie, then you know. You know. So it starts out with a rain-soaked couple take refuge in a castle of a transvestite mad scientist from outer space who is about to unveil his greatest creation. And this is what you want to consider like B horror, dark comedy, parody, raunchy comedy, musical comedy, horror, all in that genre. And it stars Tim Curry. He plays Dr. Frankenfurter. Susan Sarandon, who plays Janet Wise. Um, Barry Bostwick plays Brad Majors. Richard O'Brien plays Riff Raff. Patricia Quinn, Magenta. I'm sorry, if I say Magneta. Magenta. Uh, Nell Campbell, Columbia. Jonathan Adams plays Dr. Everett. Peter Henwood, Rocky Horror. Meatloaf. Always thought that was so funny to have Meatloaf in a musical movie, but apparently it worked out. He played Eddie. Charles Gray was the criminologist. Um, Jeremy Newson played Ralph. Hilary Farr, Betty Monroe. No, 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 no. Who else? Who else we got? There's a lot of people who was like one of the Transylvanians. So that we don't really get to talk about them. But yeah, so it kind of focused it on the couple trying to seek refuge and they're going to this castle, and then you meet Riff Raff. So then he takes um, the couple and introduces them to the other Transylvanias. Then he meets Magenta along with Columbia. And then all of a sudden, here is Dr. Frankenfurter. Um, Again, it's one of those cult classics. Again, you have to be either into musicals and kind of like weird movies like that. And I just think it works. It definitely works. But let's see what some of these reviewers have to say, especially that it's been so long. Just trying to see, does this movie still hold up? I say yes, but let's just see. Reviewers say the Rocky Horror Picture Show remains a legendary cult classic celebrated for its unprecedented cultural impact and devoted fan base spanning decades. Tim Curry's iconic performance as Dr. Frankenfurter and the irresistibly catchy soundtrack, especially the Time Warp, received universal acclaim. The film's groundbreaking sexual themes and charming camp quality delight most viewers. However, opinions divide, and the musical score's overall quality and the ambitious genre blending doesn't always mesh seamlessly. The unique audience participation experience transforms screenings into energetic communal events. That's what I mean. Like when you go to certain theaters, people really transform into these characters, and it's like it's an event, you know. Um, this one comes from someone in 2020. 8 out of 10. Foreigners with ways different to our own. Uh, Dissect, dissemble, reassemble to your heart's content. Conjure any number of meanings and misinterpretations, then rewind, warp back in time, remove head from derriere, and wallow in this absolute pleasure again, and again. Okay, anyway, 8 out of 10. This one is a 7 out of 10, an LGBT cult item. Before finally watching the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and this is in 2015, to review, I asked a young friend who was visiting me what he thought of it. I offered to give him the DVD when I was finished with it. He said fine, but when he thought that the Rocky Horror Picture Show was better as a stage show, God only knows it's revived often enough to have been taken to heart as a cult item, which shows it's just about everyone. There's a visible LGBT community, and the fact I know at least one person who in Toronto every year plays Dr. Frankenfurter in a production. The three leads, in fact, saw their breakout performances in the science fiction parody, which takes its plot partly from Frankenstein's story, from the Dr. Island of Dr. Moreau. Having Mary Shelley and H.G. Wells as inspiration gives you a good start. Young couple Barry Bostwick and Susan Sarandon get themselves lost to wind up in the home of the mad cross-dressing scientist Dr. Frankenfurter, played by Tim Curry. If you've seen both those classic films, then you have some idea of the storyline. I'll say this, if Dr. Frankenstein was gay, Peter Hen would be exactly what he would dream of for an artificially created man, whatever happened to him. The musical numbers performed stylishly by drag performers are staged well, and certainly the pyrotechnics are probably better seen in a live production. Excuse me. So I guess I'll have to take my friend's comment and judge that for myself. Oh, excuse me. Next is another 7 out of 10. A gem of musical that started as a smash play in London, then scored a phenomenal success on midnight cult movie circuit. A middle-class young couple motoring in the country on their wedding night well, it's not their wedding night. Oh my god. Having car trouble in front of a huge mansion, wanted to use the phone. The two approach the house and go and just as its master, Dr. Frankenfurter, is leading an experiment, his newly made creature, the body beautiful Rocky, is ready to be unveiled, and the innocent couple is caught up in the strange household filled with the doctor's campy, exotically dressed admirers. Both the wife and husband are seduced by his garter-belted scientist. The film's first half is funny and fast, and virtually every song a memorable one, but the second half tries to do too much, and the film loses much of its potency. Nevertheless, the adorable characters make this a delightful entertainment. I will agree that I guess, yeah, probably the second half does get a little dull, but overall, I really do enjoy this film. This one apparently doesn't enjoy it so much. Gives it a 5 out of 10. Straightforward review. Look, I realize the cultural significance of this movie. I have gone to the midnight shows no less than 50 times. I love the events, the silliness, the costumes, the participation. It's all very enjoyable, and I will probably never stop going and joining in. If I rated it solely on that, no doubt a solid 10. But when it comes right down to it, this is really a horrible and horribly made movie. The script is bad, the music is bad, the story is bad, the special effects are bad. All the artistic aspects of the movies are, the most part, bad, and even moments that are good are done in such a cheap, amateurish way that is difficult to compliment them. And no, I'm not going to concede that it's all intentional. The acting is really bad. Perhaps this part of actually is intentional, with the only performance that is only note being by Tim Curry, and that is only because he completely invests himself in it. I also realized that we're talking 45 years ago, when it was still quite common for studios to produce crap. See Bog, 1979, but I have to ask myself, how this ever got greenlit as a theatrical production? No, I've never seen a stage production, but I still can't help to wonder why anyone would have ever thought it would make a good adaptation to film. Nevertheless, that this is a culturally significant movie cannot be ignored. After 45 years of nightly midnight showings across the globe and countless home video viewings as well, its impact is inoculable, not bad for a lousy film. And this again was in 2020. Whoever you are, this was meant to be a crappy film. Like it's making fun of itself, as well as making fun of being like a parody and being like, again, like a Frankenstein type film. It's not meant to be taken seriously. So, yeah. Last but not least, this is a 9 out of 10. Best cult movie ever. And this is from 2009. I have this on VHS, and it's one of my all-time guilty pleasures. It has a great cast, a catchy music score, and unforgivable satire on monster movies, like Frankenstein. If you haven't seen it already, give yourself a treat. I will warn you, though, it is extremely silly at times, but that is all part of the fun, and I seriously don't care whether it's parody. I'm sorry, whether it's poorly made or not, and I think it's personally all that matters is that it's entertaining, and that is exactly RHPS is Rocky Horror Picture Show. The cast is wonderful. Susan Sarandon and Barry Bostwick do a great job as Brad and Janet, although I did not know they could sing, which really surprised me. Richard O'Brien is solid as Riff Raff, and he also wrote the songs. Also, solid are Patrice Quinn and Peter Hinwood. The best performance, however, comes from Hollywood's most underrated actor, Tim Curry, who I must say looks hot in fishnets and heels. He has a great singing voice that is always overlooked. Frankenfurter is a landmark performance, but Tim Curry has also done other great films such as Clue, Legend, Muppets, Treasure Island, Blue Money, and It, which has his career best performance by a mile. Voiceovers include Captain Hook, Slagger, Haxus, Drake, Fort, Von Tolland, and Moose King. You're also forgetting, oh my god, now that one's, okay, give me a minute. I'm gonna actually look him up because I know the show, and he's like a doctor. It's animated, and he has a family. Him and the wife always go and seek these animals out, but the daughter can't speak to animals. I think her name is Eliza. Anyway. The songs are so catchy, especially Time Warp and Sweet Transvestite, that I actually wanted to dance to the music, but I am a novice to dancing. The complaint about the movie is undoubtedly the best cult movie ever, no matter how many times I've been imitated, is the song Science Fiction, which is not the same league as more uplifting songs. Still, I'm happy, and let's do this time warp again. Okay, so with all that being said, let's look up Tim Curry. And so we've known he's done voiceovers from Star Wars The Clone Wars, from Randy Cunningham, Ben 10, Axel, Wonder Pets, Young Justice, Phineas and Ferb, Transformers, Rescue Bots, Strange Frame, Back to the Sea, Outback, Regular Show, Curious George 2, Scooby-Doo and the Goblin King, Fly Me to the Moon, The Chosen One, all right, let's get to... Oh, it's the Wild Thornberries, and he played Nigel Thornberry. He done additional voices in there, such as Sea Lions, Radcliffe, Poacher, Bodyguard, and Zebra. He's also done some voices in Hey Arnold, The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, Proud Family, and so much more. Anyway, he has a long list of movies, again, as well as voiceovers. Again, he's a legend in his right. And yeah. So, again, if you've never seen this film, don't know where you've been, or maybe it's just not your thing, but I would definitely suggest watching it, as well as other films like Clue, um, da, 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 It, and maybe Muppet Treasure Island. Yeah. But anyway, that is my review, as well as like a of love letter to him. Very much enthralled in his career. And yeah, that is it for me. And hey, I hope you guys have a wonderful, fantastic rest of the day. And hope you have a great weekend when it comes up. Okay, thanks and bye. Mwah.